Who am I? Well, before Husky, I didn't really know. The first memory I have is being lifted from the cold and bloody ground of a battlefield. I can still recall ice crystals forming through his hands.
What is that? Who are you? Are you alone as well? I see. So I'm not the only one.
Barely able to adjust my dizzy vision, I looked up. Vapor seemed to constantly form around him. I nodded, and he grinned, picking me up. The ice around his shoulders felt warm. When I woke up, the first thing that came to mind was how he felt like family, like someone from my past. It reminded me of my family spending time by the fireplace during the cold season. As I stood up, I saw him putting on his coat and starting to leave. "No, don't leave me alone," I yelled, running up to him and hugging him tightly. Still visibly shaking, he put his big hands on my head and patted me.
Hey, no worries. I was just gonna go outside real quick. Yeah.
I grabbed him by his big tail, looking up, and said, "I'm going with you." As we stepped outside, everyone seemed to recognize him and gave him disapproving looks. I wonder why they hate him.
I guess everybody just loves me again today.
I followed him throughout the town as we stopped somewhere. He dropped off a backpack full of rings and equipment, coming out without it.
Okay, done. What's next on the list? I guess it's off to eat. Let's go.
He ordered food for us, and as we waited, he asked me.
So, what's your name?
I looked at the ground and showed him my slave crest.
So you're a slave, huh? Let me see if I could do something about that real quick.
He said, pointing his finger at my crest and touching it slightly. Suddenly, my crest began to freeze. It was a bit painful, so I closed my eyes as he said,
Don't you worry, it's almost over. Just a couple of seconds more.
The ice cracked and exploded, and with that, my slave crest disappeared.
Now, nothing to worry about. You're free. Yay, let's celebrate.
I cried, and as he wiped my tears away, he said,
How about the name Leah? It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
I nodded. Since that day we have been together. I begged Husky to train me, and in the beginning, he said that he didn't want me to live that life. After some time of annoying and bullying him, he finally accepted. The first thing he taught me was how to use my mana and how to keep my body fit. I did my best, sometimes training as if my life depended on it. Because Husky's training was unreal. He was always done without breaking a sweat. It was always hard to keep up with him, and when I thought I was getting closer, he would just pull away. The one thing I could look forward to was being rewarded with sweets every time I leveled up. I felt celebrated and appreciated. I almost forgot what happened to me in the past.
Level 20 already? Oh my god, you're a quick learner. Here, would you like a honey drop?
Yay, thank you, Master. As time went by, I asked Husky where we were going, and he said he was going to take me to his village where he was trained in the hopes of me getting stronger and maybe settling down there. But before that, I still needed much more training. As time went on, I tried to ask him questions about his past, but he was always cold and detached. I even asked about his scars and how he lost his foot, but he always responded with more training or a playful whack on my head.
Where are we going? We're going to Ic3husky, a village in the north, and there you'll master the art of wolf and ice combat.
The years went by, and I got stronger and more mature. At that point, he started to warm up a little, especially when there was alcohol involved, his only weakness.
I know you want to know my secrets, but I can't really tell you right now. You have to trust me until we reach Ic3husky. There, I'll let you know the truth and the whole truth.
It's okay, Master. You decide when you are ready. And as I grew older, I started to develop feelings for him. But I could never accept these feelings as I wanted to train harder and become somebody he would be proud of. And before I knew it, death came faster than expected. My master's tail became stiff as he turned around, looking above in the sky. He took out his armaments and got in a fighting stance I had never seen before.
Leah, get back, now!
I looked confused at him, not understanding what was happening.
Run away, now!
My master yelled at me. Before I could run, a deep, immense fog surrounded the lake we were on. My master looked frightened as he began to chant a spell, one I had never seen before. 10 blue rings formed around him as he chanted. Suddenly, darkness enveloped the whole sky. Meanwhile, all I could see was a blur that looked like a crystal above my master. Color returned, and suddenly my master's shoulder's hair was covered with ice. He let out a battle cry, and ice wings started forming from behind. Before he could attack, the enemy sent 4 crystals flying toward my master, and he deflected them all. The entity laughed as the crystals fired spells in quick succession. My master chuckled as he was bombarded by the spells, starting to bleed from his lips. He said,
Well, aren't you a little bit overpowered?
You do not belong here,
said the voice hidden in the fog. My master asked it to introduce itself, and it revealed itself to be an ice spirit named Ice. Why are you attacking me? Husky asked. Ice replied,
because your body, your soul, your weapons, and your spirit belong to me.
Take me if you can,
said my master, as they continued to exchange blows. You can hear the clashing as the temperature visibly drops, and a snowstorm and thunder are created by them.
I will never give myself up to you. I'd rather die than give in.
My master spat blood, ready to go another round. I began to worry as my master's body slowly disappeared, and his ice started to melt around himself, to the point he was starting to limp. He looked at me and said,
Leah, you have to get stronger, promise me.
As his powers faded, and his transformation was lost.
You don't have a choice,
said the ice spirit.
You are already dead either way.
Husky leaned against his sword.
Is this why you kept me alive?
He shouted at the sky.
Time to die!
The ice spirit drove a crystal towards my master's heart.
I can't die yet. Not without... I'm so sorry, Leah. I couldn't.
A pool of blood gathered around my master's lifeless body. I couldn't control myself. I started attacking the spirit ruthlessly with tears running down my cheeks. Even with all the training I had, her power was worlds apart from mine. She teleported in front of me and slapped me hard into the ground. As I struggled to get back up, I saw her walk to my master's dead body to take his armaments. With blood on my lips and tears running down my face, I continued to struggle and get up using my sword as a crutch. As she began to turn away, something held her back. The blood of my master's lifeless body turned blue and started moving onto her body, all the way from her legs to her neck. She twisted and turned on the ground as the blood slowly choked her and suddenly went into her mouth. Ice passed out, and in her consciousness, she ran into a dark shadow.
Wow, wow, wow. What a cozy voice,
the shadow said. She looked closer, and the shadow revealed itself to be Husky.
Didn't you say you'll kill me?
He laughed.
Now it's time for revenge. I'm here, bitch. Don't you think you're gonna run away? I've got you now.